At the time of this trip, spring of 2018, getting to Cuba wasn't exactly easy. We all needed to get special visas and insurance, which cost about $75 each. Now, currently, as of June 2019, stronger limitations have been imposed on American travel to Cuba. Cruise ships and tourist visits are no longer allowed. You can still go, but your reasoning must fall into one of 12 categories of authorized travel. Only 110 miles from Florida, we were in Cuba in less than an hour. You definitely felt it. To some people, this was home. To us, it was the unknown. We got out of their airport, which I would describe as organized chaos, and started searching for a way to get into town. We finally got a cab. It was tough to find one that would be able to fit everyone because we were traveling with 7 people. We all squeezed in, and then finally, we were on our way. We got up early the next morning and ate a large, authentic-style Cuban meal. We hadn't really eaten much the day before, so we decided to skip the breakfast menu and order straight off of their heartier dinner menu. After that, we were ready to visit the aquarium. We intentionally picked a hotel close to it so that we could walk. On the way, we ran into some amazing people who were extremely friendly and not even trying to sell us anything. The fact that nobody was on their phones, they were in the street just hanging out, buildings were kind of crumbling, and the old style cars, all of that, guys, I don't know how to really describe it, but it felt like we had traveled back in time to the 1960s. The National Aquarium of Cuba had a grand plaza entrance with large statues of dolphins. During my research, I had read a lot of mixed Google reviews on this place, so I really had no idea what to expect. At first, I couldn't understand if we had just paid to see a few turtles. There were many abandoned ponds, and even though it looked like there were people coming in and out, there wasn't anybody except us in the exhibits. Eventually, we heard some noise, and we decided to follow it, which led us to a large amphitheater where a dolphin show was being held. And I was amazed to see that that's where all the people were.
Oigan, y tenemos una ola con cintura por ahí en la tarde de hoy, así que vamos a ver. Para, nos vamos a comportar. Atención que vienen los mortales, viene la bulla.
I don't know dolphins, but I'm pretty sure those are better than the ones we got.
So far, you've probably formed some opinions of your own on the state of this aquarium. Founded in 1960, this National Aquarium is located in the Miramar district of Havana. This institution gets its fair share of stragglers and annual visitors. Despite its rather scruffy appearance, this place leaves most other Cuban aquatic centers in the dust, which isn't saying much, but for 10 Cuban dollars per person to visit, this large aquarium houses a variety of fish, mollusks, and mammals. The Aquario is an example of the incredible energy that they had right after the revolution, with a wonderful mix of education and entertainment that must have been really new to the majority of Cubans back then. After 50 plus years though, it's still nice to savor, but only under this aspect, because in fact, the tanks and biotopes are really too small. The concrete is crumbling, and many of the cement ponds are empty. But although I would agree that it's in need of a renovation, I wouldn't be so quick to unleash on Cuba. Although this aquarium might not have all the flashy attractions that wealthy aquariums have, it provides a very unique educational service to the Cuban people. To Cubans, and particularly their children, this place is very important, and they enjoy it. They're not accustomed to the lap of luxury. I mean, the entire country is barely getting by. And it's a shame, because Cuba is an amazing place, filled with some of the most incredibly warm and friendly people. But you have to experience the place with an open mind, and for that reason, it's probably not for everybody. This aquarium was designed for the locals, which I personally thought was cool. It was something completely different, a refreshing reminder that I shouldn't be comparing aquariums in my travels, simply enjoying them for what they are. Despite being underfunded and somewhat abandoned, I genuinely found it beautiful. I looked down from the lookout railing and saw a shelf of Paleozoic rock immediately beneath me with hundreds of very large trabelate fossils, most about 4 inches long. We even found some living zoanthids in the tide pools throughout. Although this aquarium offers a very old and different perception,
it's clearly striving for the same educational intention.
Cuba was a perfect example that the future is here, but the past too is everywhere.